Hotepish with your host, Dwan B. Intelligent Ish Talk. You're listening to Hotepish with your host, Dwan B. Intelligent Ish Talk, intelligent shit talk, where we balance the profound with the profane. Political satire, celebrity and expert guests, information and entertainment, conversation and solutions. Leave your feelings at the door.
Now tuned in to that Hotepish, bringing you food for thought. No miss the first dish from the number one host, Dwan. Got enough games and jokes that can last about a couple more eons. Vibes on the million, you heard right. Debunking niggas' opinions on music, that shit light. Work being done without breaking a sweat. This that intelligent ish, you need not forget. Dwan don't debate with whole niggas. They use I feel as receipts to show niggas. Fat stand tall on opinions. Jokes to emotional haters and their minions. Need to burn one popcorn, get a drink. The Jews in the history is always in sync. Show for the real genie catching a wish. Cause you're now tuned in to that Hotepish. I know you enjoy.
Yes, we are here live. Thank y'all for joining the brother. Thank y'all. What's good with y'all, man? I think I got my new restream working right. We live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. I used to have Restream, but they started tripping last year, so I got rid of them. Now I just got it back. It looks as if they worked out all of their technical issues. What's up, Deandra? What's up, Butter Love? I am him. What up, Miss Porsche? Free Truth? Yeah, Marlo Moon, Quanez, Nino Black. Thank y'all. I'm going on right when you stepping out. My bad. We gonna have Craig Facts today, but Craig Facts ain't gonna be on YouTube. Y'all gotta follow like Craig's Facebook fan page to watch today's episode because somebody reported a video that he did like 2 years ago roasting one of them stupid entertainers, and they banned the page for 7 days. So yeah, welcome to Trump's America. Can't say anything about anybody. Not Trump's America, Biden's America. Trump's America, you can say whatever the hell you want it. Welcome to Biden's America, where you can't say what you want. Yeah, old head dudes, get your Hotep gear, man. Hotepish.com/shop. I got all kinds of new stuff in the Hotepish shop. All kinds of new stuff. And I have free shipping. Free shipping for all orders over $50. Free shipping. Let's see here. Install later. Wow, I'm over here they're over here trying to send me an update in the middle of my broadcast. Like, chill. Yeah, I got the new Reparations Now hoodie. I had people asking for that. I got everything. All my t-shirts are now in hoodie format. And I also have some new t-shirts coming real soon in the shop, getting designed as we speak. I spoke to my designer a little earlier. Got some new shirts coming too. What's up, Boss Queenie? Yeah, we're gonna be in Austin, Texas next week. We will be in Austin, Texas, December 10th and 11th. 4 shows. Tickets are selling out real fast, especially them Saturday shows. So I need y'all to go ahead to the Vulcan Gas Company. Go to the Vulcan Gas Company website, Austin, Texas. Buy your tickets direct. The Vulcan Gas Company, Austin, Texas. Yeah, the whole crew gonna be out there. We're gonna be clowning. The whole Craig Facts crew gonna be there. And we're gonna have stand-up comedy. A whole bunch of all deaf cats are gonna be there. You know what I mean? All deaf dudes doing stand-up. The Craig Factors in the building. It's gonna be good being out there at Big Jai. When I first started comedy, Big Jai was right there. My first day on stage. We started comedy like within a week or two of each other. And then Craig started comedy about 2 months after that. Barry Brew was the first person that got me on stage as a comedian. So I'm going to be out there in Austin, Texas with the people that I literally started this journey with end of 2009, basically beginning of 2010. So come on down. You're going to get a reunification of literally day ones in this game. Yeah, we here. What's up, Goldie? But yeah, this broadcast today is about worshiping politicians. The dangers in worshiping politicians and why these jackasses are nobody to be reverenced. They are our employees. What's up, Lady B? Politicians are our employees. And they're the bitch of wealthy donors. They work for us, but we don't recognize. And when I say we, let me define we this time. When I say we, I mean the masses of Americans. This isn't just a black issue. I'm going to speak on this from a black perspective, but this is an issue that is pervasive throughout the United States. There is no one group that's greater than the other. Maybe the Jewish cats, they pretty good at not really worshiping their politicians, but they also write a lot of the rules of the game, but that's another story. Outside of them, basically all Americans do the same bullshit. Worship these people who ain't worth being worshipped. And that's why overall the people don't get what the people need. But I'm going to speak on this from a black perspective because Black American is my tribe. That's my group. And usually when America solves problems, we're the ones that solves the problem and the rest of the country catches on. Let me say that one more time. Usually when Black Americans solve an issue, the rest of America catches up. So I don't want to hear people saying things like, well, you know, the mother groups, well, since that's what the white people do, well, we don't wait on other people. We never have historically in this country. We've always trailblazed. And we've trailblazed because we've been the largest victims of this country's violence. We've been the primary victims, I should say. Other people, when they're victims in this country, it's usually cannon fodder. The United States, Anglo-Saxon WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant males, they like fucking over everybody, you know what I mean? Including other Anglo-Saxons. Other Anglo-Saxons do not get absolved from getting fucked over by this country. But the primary focus of the BS in this country is Black Americans. So we are generally primarily the ones that get this country out of the BS because we first in. We got to remember this. We got to remember this. So, and let me turn on my my church music so I can get to preaching to y'all asses today. Oh, I got people. Oh, okay. Oh, I got people calling me from the comedy club down there in Texas. I might be on the drums down there in Austin. I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to work the logistics of that out. So for those of you going to Austin, I might be playing the drums too. I don't know yet. Don't quote me on that. But back to what we're talking about. There was I'm bringing this up because there was a discussion the other day on Craig Facts. Very fun. We be having fun on that show. And before any of you drama queens come around, don't nobody have any issues with nobody on that show. We all during the breaks leave out and be smoking and talking shit and having fun and laughing at what the hell we just said. So before any people that like coming up and bringing up drama and taking drama to their channel and saying, hey, is there a problem with the Craig Facts crew? I'm going to tell you right now, if you're thinking that, turn that thought around, turn it sideways, and stick it right back in your ass where it came from. We just talk about a lot of shit, have a little fun, then move on to the next subject. But there was a part of the show where we talked about, where they asked me, about how my feelings towards Kamala Harris and President Obama. And for the most part, I'm like, I'm neutral. I don't give a shit about them. And yes, I do believe in talking shit about politicians. Because like I said before, politicians are our bitches. They work for us. They work for us. That's what they do. And when we forget that is when we start worshiping these cats. And when I say we, I mean a collective. As a collective. I'm not saying you as an individual. Because I know it's going to be somebody in the comment section after this video's over. See, Dwan, you wrong. Because I think for the person that's getting ready, your fingers are warming up to make that comment. Make it very clear. Nobody gives a fuck what you think. We listening to me. Ain't directed at any individual. I'm speaking from a societal point of view so we can learn lessons as a people and change how we get down and interact with these bastards. You dig what I'm saying? And I was saying that, yes, I believe if a politician disrespects my group by coming in front of us, acting as if they care, and then once they get in political office, they forget about my group and write legislation for other groups, then they don't deserve my respect. I respect a politician that don't even come talk to me more than I respect the politician that talks to my group, says it's going to do things, or sometimes don't even say, just say, hey, look, I'm here. And then when they get in office, you see them do specific things for other groups, but not my group. That person is not to be respected. That person is not to be respected. Let me say that again. That person is not to be respected. Back in the old days, back in ancient Rome, when the Roman Empire started to fall apart, you saw a lot of the citizens stop taking the politicians serious. There was a point towards Rome's end to where politicians couldn't walk down the street without being heckled. You know why? Because politicians are here to serve us. Yeah, that's right, Larry. Hit the like button if y'all in here. Hit the like button, hit the share. Hit the share button. We're about to break this all the way down. Through definitions, through expectations, all that. Politicians are elected to what's called public office. Let's go all the way down. Let's break it down and then build it back up. Let's break it down and build it back up. Public office. Cancel. Shit. Man, I'm over here. See my browser over here trying to can y'all hear me? I'm sitting over here trying to do updates in the middle of me talking to y'all. Okay, y'all can hear me. Public office. Whether you're talking about the president, your senator, your mayor, your city council, these are all people who work in what's known as public office. What is public office? Well, I Googled the definition. I know what it is, but I wanted to share the definition to everyone so that we be clear. So that when you have these discussions with other people, you can clearly state your point of view. A public office, noun, a position of authority or service involving responsibility to the public, especially within the government. Let me read that one more time. A position of authority or service involving responsibility to the public, especially within government. What is that saying? That's saying those who take the oath of public office take an oath to serve the public. See, when the government was put together, when the Constitution was put together, first of all, it was taken from the Iroquois Confederacy. Hiawatha, 1150 AD, said we're going to come together and bury the hatchet. And the natives of the upper northeast United States was now Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Massachusetts, that whole area. Those tribes came together and they created a constitution with a Congress, and that Congress being someone who represents the locals from where they come from. Brief history. Because did I tell you that the Constitution was something that Ben Franklin just created and pulled out of his ass and it was just the greatest document ever? No. Ben Franklin was a regular at these Confederacy meetings. And he basically plagiarized the Constitution from them. And we now know that as the United States Constitution. Well, now that brief backstory of history has been said, let's now talk about this we're talking about the Constitution and talking about government from the point of view of the United States of America and how the United States of America deals in politics. We are a republic, not a democracy. That's why they say for this republic. And when you do the Pledge of Allegiance, we're in a republic, not a democracy. You dig? We are a republic, not a democracy. What is a republic? See, I don't come to you guys with my feelings. I come to you with information. A republic is a state in which supreme power is held by the people and their elected representatives, and which has an elected or nominated person rather than a monarch. No, Eric Sanders, he did not steal it from the Seminoles. The Seminoles were down in Florida. As a matter of fact, the Seminoles didn't exist at the time of Ben Franklin. The Seminoles, well, they did exist, but the Seminole Wars didn't start for another 40, 50 years, 30 years after Ben Franklin. The Seminoles were around, no, but they got from the Iroquois Confederacy. That's where the United States Constitution comes from. And History.com recently kind of acknowledged that. For people who don't believe black people, you want to hear a white person validate it? History.com recently validated this. It's all good, Eric Sanders. I appreciate that. So a republic is a state in which supreme power is held by the people and their elected representatives, and which has an elected or nominated president rather than a monarch. What's an elected representative? An elected representative is your congressperson, your district attorney, your state senate, your national senate, your judges. These are all elected representatives. Why do we elect representatives? We elect representatives because for every issue that a country has, a large nation with people all over the place, you can't bring everything the people need, every law that needs to be changed. You can't hold a general election every week for everybody to vote on every law that's going to get passed throughout the country. So what do? You vote for a person to represent your group. That's why here in LA, I live in Maxine Waters district. For nationally, and as far as the state goes, I live in Stephen Bradford's district. Stephen Bradford goes to the state of California to speak on my behalf. Maxine Waters goes to the federal government to speak on my behalf. The reason why people in Congress only get 2 years is because they have 2 years to reflect the will of the people. And if they're not reflecting the will of the people, it's the people's job to take them out and replace them with someone who will reflect the will of the people. Okay? The reason why the Senate you vote for a new senator every 6 years is because when it comes to the 3 branches of government, and when it comes to policy is meant, and the way this country is run, is meant to never change. It is totally meant to never change. That's why you have 3 branches of government. To make sure that whether you're Democrat or Republican, left wing, right wing, the bird stays even and keeps flying straight and don't get turned to either side. when you get to the Senate, as I segue, they get elected every 6 years to give a more stable representation of the state. See, in Congress, you have districts. You have depending on how many people in your state, the more people, the more districts. But when it comes to the Senate, every state gets 2. So whether you're overcrowded California or underpopulated Idaho, you get the same amount of representation. And whatever laws are passed in the Senate has to be also passed in the Congress and then ratified by the president. That's how small town America gets as much of a voice as big city America. I'm saying this because I'm setting the foundation for where I'm going with this, why we don't worship politicians. This is business. Politics is business. What is the purpose of a politician? A purpose of a politician is to pass laws on the behalf of the groups that elected them into public office. Again, because we can't vote on every single law in every single city, in every single state throughout the country, we elect people to do this for us. That's why they run for office. They're running for our approval. They're running to go bring us back our share of the taxes that we put in on this country. I don't know if y'all understand this, folks, but when it comes to this country, we put in on this, man. You pay state tax if you're in California. You pay income tax, definitely. You pay a federal tax. You pay taxes when you buy a soda. You pay taxes when you buy a car. The car costs $30,000. After taxes, that car costs $33,000. Those $3,000, where did that extra $3,000 go? It went to your state, your city, your federal government. And when you elect someone to represent you, you're electing them for them to bring back a share of what you out of your pockets put in on. I don't understand why people don't get that. You put in on it. So I don't care if you make $10,000 a year. Everybody I know that make $10,000 a year smoke Black and Mild. Y'all niggas, for some reason, it's the niggas that make the least amount of money that be smoking the most blunts. Instead of just getting papers and getting a whole 40 leaves per pack, for $2, you want to spend $1 on 2 blunts. Whatever. You pay taxes on them blunts. Everybody's Christmas shopping. You buying your kids toys. You pay taxes for every toy that you purchase. When you go pump your gas, especially here in California, there's taxes all up the ass in that gas. So I don't care if you put in 2 pennies or $2 trillion. You paid on it. You better damn well you better damn well make sure the people that you elected into public office are doing everything they can to bring that money back to you in your district in the form of federal contracts, potholes being fixed, schools being adequately funded with books. And that's what the politician is supposed to be doing. See, a good politician is somebody who goes down to DC. Yeah, if you have a congressperson, and when those jobs like well, I'm drawing a blank right now. God damn it, drawing a blank, Dwan. What am I trying to say? Like Caltrans. Here in California, we call it Caltrans, the people that work on the freeways. Well, you want that hub to be in your district. Because if that hub is in your district, these are now jobs for the people who live in your district to then go and apply for. That's not 10,000 miles away. You want federal contracts. You want, if SpaceX gets a new contract from the government, you want your, well, I don't know about SpaceX because these niggas is gentrifying shit. But you get what I'm saying. If Boeing, if Lockheed Martin, if any of these companies get contracts, you want your senators and your Congress people to bring those jobs to your city, to your state, so you have greater economic opportunities. If your congressperson is not bringing these jobs to your district, they're failing you. That's why you see people in these rural, not rural, like you notice, like rural white America, they'll get a goddamn federal contract real quick. This contract's getting put out all over the place through rural Texas. But them same contracts don't come into urban Baltimore. They don't come into South Central Los Angeles. So if those jobs aren't coming to these districts, why the fuck are you worshiping the people who work for you? They work for you. Think about this, people. You put in on this. Your mama pay taxes. Your daddy pay taxes. Your grandparents been paying taxes. FBAs, Foundation of Black Americans, ADOS, whatever you call yourself. Your family has been paying taxes in this land for hundreds, literally hundreds of years. Your family has been paying more taxes into this land than any other group. And have gotten the least than any other group. Why is that? Yeah, Boston Queen. That's why I said, that's why I backtracked on SpaceX. And they don't hire none of us over there. Shit, fuck SpaceX. I ride my bike around SpaceX when I go ride my bike. I see nothing but others that are trying to take over this neighborhood. Fuck them, but y'all get what I'm saying. But when it comes down to it, we get caught up and we mess up because as a population overall, we tend to worship politicians. Oh, what's up, Julie, coming in from Facebook? Oh, it is working on Facebook now. Cool. So, politicians, again, they work for us. But when we as a people, as a population, get into worshiping these people, you then get into dangerous territory. Because now you're worshiping someone who works for you. Question: you're running a company. You have a secretary. That secretary's job is to do a lot of the small tasks that you as a business owner don't have the time to do. So you pay taxes, meaning you pay her salary or his salary, hopefully her, fellas. You pay her salary and have her do the day-to-day things that you can't do to successfully run your company. Question: do you worship your secretary? Or do you just say, thank you, here's the next task? Now you may give your secretary a Christmas bonus or a paid vacation to say, job well done. But you don't worship her. When you go down to Subway to get a sandwich, and the person puts the sandwich together and they put the pickles and the onions on there just the way you like it, Do you get a picture of that Subway sandwich artist and put it on your wall and say, "Bye, sandwich artist"? Or do you say thank you and move the fuck on? You don't do this in any other area of your life where you pay for a service. Well, when you pay taxes, you're paying for a service. You're paying a politician to do what you elect them to do. You pay taxes. You're paying police officers to protect your area. You pay taxes. That means you're paying for the firefighters to put out fires. You're paying for ambulance workers to save lives. You don't worship these people. When they do their job, you say, "Job well done. Here's the next task." You don't worship these people. But that's what people do. So going back to the discussion we had yesterday on Craig Facts when everyone was trying to clown me. Look, when you know you're right, you can stand on it. When you know a bunch of people are pulling something out their ass, black folks, you should never, ever, ever be swayed when you understand what the real is. Take the jokes. The jokes some niggas had yesterday were funny as hell. I was laughing along with y'all. And I was laughing after the show too, knowing that I'm no politician's bitch. Let's keep laughing. You don't worship these people. So when we got to talking about Kamala Harris, I'm like, well, I put in on her campaign. Why did I put in on her campaign? Because I read Dr. Claude Anderson, because I understand how politics works. If you want something from a politician, if you want the person that you're backing to get elected, it's best to put money in on it. Now, your money ain't going to change nothing, but that little extra $50, $200, $10, that's one more stamp they can purchase for mailers. That's one more postcard that they can send out. That's, a few dollars that they could put on their radio and TV ads. You're right about that, Quan. That's the max you can donate to any campaign legally anyway is $5,000. You can't put up a whole lot. What's up, Jay Smooth? You're right, Jaron. He was simping like a motherfucker. Oh, I didn't look phased, Goldie? Yeah, because I wasn't phased. Because I know the fuck I'm talking about. So, hey, I'm not gonna be phased if it's a bunch of hyenas cackling and I got the meat over here. Pause the expression. You over here eating dinner and you in a well-protected space over here that nobody can get into, but it's a whole bunch of hyenas on the outside of your house cackling and wanting what you got, which is information. You just sit back and let the hyenas cackle. Fuck y'all cackling for? I'm inside this house. They can't break up in here and do nothing with this. But it is what it is. Please share the video. For some reason, this shit's got me stuck on 107. I know I got more people in here than this. God damn, what's going on? YouTube. But when people, so you stand on your square when you know you're right. Because when I put money behind Kamala Harris, it wasn't to say, hey, you better do everything I say to do. It's because when she came to the fundraiser I was at, she spoke to things that I thought were pertinent to my voting principles. She talked about policing the police and how she's going as Attorney General of California. She's going to hold local police departments accountable. That's what she said when I was at her fundraiser. She said all the buzzwords that I wanted to hear. And she was black. Well, I thought. I was like, man, the first black attorney general in California state history is here. And if I put a couple dollars behind it, maybe that's one more postcard she could send out to a potential voter. Let me do this. So what happened was, once I put up my little bit of change, because I was in my mid-20s. I don't know about y'all, but my mid-20s as a black man, I was broke as hell. Nigga, I was broke in my mid-20s. Broke. I had a little bit of cheese in my early 20s, but I fucked that off being 20, being a 20-year-old. So by the time I got to my mid-20s, a little bit of change I made in my early 20s, I had that all that shit was gone. I was broke as hell. But what I did was, I've always believed in putting my money behind what I believe in, because money's energy. If you believe in something, you pay for it. So what I saw once Kamala Harris got elected as state attorney general, I saw her. I read the paper every day. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is read the LA Times. I scan it. I don't read everything, but I scan it. I scanned the New York Times. I scanned the Washington Post, the Boston Herald, the major newspapers of record around the country, the Chicago Tribune, just to get a feel for what's going on. But I especially read the LA Times. And when I would read the LA Times 2010, 2011, 2013, 14, 15, 16, the whole time she was here representing my state, I would read bullshit. I would read things like, Kamala Harris refuses to release prisoners out of fear of wildfires not being tamed. Kamala Harris campaigned to get justice for Matrice Richardson, but has since not answered the family's phone calls since being elected. I will read this shit. It seems like damn near once or twice a month, I'm reading some shit on how Kamala Harris fucked over black people as a whole. So by the time she got to running for president, I already had 10 years. She just started running for 2018. So I already had 10 years of closely following this heifer and what she's done when she's got the power. And while trying to warn people about how dangerous she is based on her legislative action, because remember, a politician's only job for us is to do our will as a people, nothing else. So as I started to send out the warning signal to people who I know don't pay as close attention to politics, I got met with, Dwan, you're just a hater. Oh, Dwan, she's our first she can be the first black president, female president. Oh, Dwan, she can be the first female and black vice president. Oh, Dwan, she's a black woman and we must support our black women. Believe all black women, and all this clicheism. So, elect Obama, she got enough people listened to where she couldn't get voted in as president. But she got voted in. She got chosen, not voted in. She got chosen by Biden to be vice president. And now, since she's vice president, I'm still getting black people telling me that she needs respect just because of a title that she holds. Funny thing is, once she got in office, she's now the first Asian vice president. And we see, yes, she's vice president. She's not the one that signed this, but we saw what happened. Asians got a special protection under the law by executive order. Asians got money specifically for them in their businesses because of the coronavirus shutdown. And black people got nothing. And this was after Kamala Harris said, You don't expect me to do anything for black people? No. And you saw her whole body language when she did that. I broke that down about a year ago on this channel. Go back and look at it. Her whole breakdown when she got to rocking back and forth. You don't expect me to do it. Anything just for black people? No. And with someone with that kind of disdain for black America, you still have black American men saying that we need to respect her. You still got black American women saying that she's one of us. You still got black Americans going around saying, well, I know she ain't done shit, but we need to support her anyway because she's black. And what about my kids? My kids need somebody to look up to. Oh, we need symbolism. We need somebody for the children to want to be. Let me tell you something, folks. A politician is a whore. That's a filthy position. It's nothing to be worshipped. If you want your children to be a politician, then raise them with first of all, teach them what politics is, how it works, how it operates, and approach it from that point of view. Because what good is a black politician who's just in office to be worshipped? What's going to happen? Major corporations, billionaire donors are going to put money behind these people. They're going to get the celebrity that they want. But who are they going to be responsible to? The people worshiping them or the people paying them? You ask yourself that question. Who would you be responsible to? These people over here paying you a lot of money to shift policy in their direction, or this other group of people over here who are going to vote for you just because you're black. And they want you to be someone who motivates their children to be like you. Who's their loyalty to? The foolish or the money? The foolish or the money? I ain't gonna speak like I've always been like this. Look, I took my political science classes 2000, 2001, 2002. And even though I understood political science, when they brought that damn Obama around 2008, it was like, shit, I almost forgot my education. And I was like, first black president. I got caught up in this shit, man. I got caught up in the whole Kamala Harris is black. Man, I ain't speaking to you niggas as if I'm just some perfect being who descends from heaven, who's always known it all. I'm speaking from the point of view of someone who's made the mistakes. And I've since learned from those mistakes. Black people, we don't need symbolisms. We need practical solutions. We have too many symbols outside of politics. Look, when you look at a lot of the things black people have done in America, being president, being a senator, that's a step down. Being a congressperson, that's actually a step down. Sometimes 2 or 3 steps down from some of the shit we accomplished in the last 250, 300 years in this country. Being a politician is actually a step down from a lot of our greatness. I want to bring someone to your attention. I'm going to give you a few I won't say unknown, underknown, not well-known stories about Black America. Just one or two. If we want our children to be like somebody, and we want that person to be a politician, I introduce to you Charles Caldwell. Look him up, Charles Caldwell. Black people have no shortage of people to aspire to be. Hell, I'm going to just use politicians in this example. If we're going to aspire to be a politician, Barack Obama ain't it. Kamala Harris ain't it. This brother right here, Charles Caldwell, he's it. Charles Caldwell was a businessman, was a Mississippi Republican during the Reconstruction era. Charles Caldwell was a blacksmith when he was enslaved. He fought in the Civil War. And he was one of the 16 Black Republicans to participate in the Mississippi Constitutional Convention in 1868. See, the way they tell history, you would think Black people wasn't doing shit. 3 years out of slavery, you had 16 Black people constructing the Mississippi Constitution. Do you know in the Mississippi original Constitution of 1868, Black people can vote, women could own property and businesses, Black people had the right to protect themselves? A lot of great things that these 16 Black Republicans put into that original Mississippi Constitution. Now that shit ended up getting stripped up out of there later on, but it was put in there. Caldwell was somebody who, back in the 1870s, when the Night Riders and the Ku Klux Klan and these other white supremacist groups were putting together militias to terrorize Black voters, Charles Caldwell puts together his own militia. He put together his own militia. So when Black people went to go vote in 1870 and 1872, anytime white opposition came around, Charles Caldwell and his crew was like, what? You got guns? We got guns too, nigga. Do y'all know that Charles Caldwell was the first Black person to get off from killing a white person? Let's talk about that. There was a white shop owner that Charles Caldwell thought was sleeping with his wife. Yes, even back then, white people and Black people used to get down in a bed. Well, Charles Caldwell thought his Black wife was cheating on him with this white shop owner. Charles Caldwell went to confront the white shop owner, told him what he needed to tell him, and left. Non-violently, he left. Well, the white shop owner and his son followed Caldwell out of the business. His son pulled a gun on Caldwell. Caldwell killed the shop owner's son and wounded the white shop owner. Caldwell was arrested, tried, and found not guilty because of self-defense. And this was in the 1860s, people. Nigga, Black people are gangsters. And when I say gangsters, I don't mean no drug dealing punk. I don't mean some pants sagging wearing ass. I don't mean one of these old punk ass characters in these 50 Cent TV shows. You watch a TV show from 50 Cent, you think all Black people are good at is getting themselves out of jail and dealing drugs. And that's gangster. No, we had real gangsters in the 1860s. Charles Caldwell killed that motherfucker and got off. Do you know how they ended up taking Charles Caldwell out? On Christmas Day, 1875, Charles Caldwell was invited. Well, before I even go to how he got killed, this is another major part about Caldwell. He was behind what's known as the Clinton Riot, September 4th, 1875. He organized a political rally at Moses Hill. Firing erupted during the rally, attended by more than 1,500 blacks and about 75 whites, including some white Democrats. During the ensuing melee, at least 4 whites and 5 blacks were killed. In the next few days, many more blacks were killed by vigilante mobs, but Charles Caldwell killed a lot of. The part that they'll tell you the part about the black people getting killed, but they won't. They don't like talking too much about. For every black person that got killed, Charles Caldwell people took out a white person. White folks tried to intimidate black people. The white Democrats tried to intimidate black Republicans. The black Republicans fought back and kicked their ass. Well, on Christmas Day, 1875, Charles Caldwell, despite his wife's warnings, met with a white politician named Buck Cabell. Wife said don't meet with him, but Brother Caldwell said, you know what, I'm cool with this white dude. We good. He met with the white person, and right as they toasted for drinks, a shot rang out and Caldwell was killed inside the saloon. Well, he was shot. While laying on the ground, shot, getting ready to die, he asked that his body be dragged out into the middle of the street so that people know that he didn't die a coward. When Caldwell was dragged out, he saw the local judge, the local sheriff, and local white Republicans that he thought were his allies. And while he was laying there taking his last few breaths, these white people all shot and basically lit his body up and killed him. Yes, he died, but he lived a man. And his name will forever live in history, Charles Caldwell. We have a lot of people who done it the right way. Robert Smalls, Hiram Revels. We know about Robert Smalls because I have him on my t-shirts. Well, people who are loyal to this show know who Robert Smalls is. There's also Hiram Revels. Hiram Revels in the state of Mississippi he's the first black senator. And in 1855, he ran for the vacant Senate seat left by Jefferson Davis. Because mind you, Jefferson Davis left the United States to become the president of the Confederacy. Hiram Revels ran and won his seat in 1866, Mississippi. Black people have no shortage of, and this person didn't get killed. He died of old age. We got plenty of black people to look up to. We got plenty of black folks to look up to. Hell, I'm about to do one right here. My great-granduncle. You want to look up to somebody that's black and in politics? We can look up to my great-granduncle, Adelbert Roberts. We can look up to him. Adelbert Roberts was the first senator, state senator, in Illinois' history. My great-granduncle, Adelbert Roberts, was elected to the Illinois State Senate in 1964, where he was elected, then ran for election, re-elected in 1962. 26. Black. Black people have always done this shit, man. And is in spite of having black representation, in spite of that, having black representation all this time, most black people don't even know these people existed. This was during the height of Jim Crow. My great-granduncle became a senator in the state of Illinois. Very racist state of Illinois. Extremely racist state of Illinois. We don't need symbolism anymore. We've been there as a people. We've been there, done that. When it comes to powerful people in powerful offices, we've been there, done that. Now it's time to get paid. Now is the time to get serious in politics. We've been there, done that with the whole black thing. We've been there, done that. Now it's time to focus on politics. We can't let, and this is what's going to happen, and this is what politicians do to us. Politicians get us as a people, and as the United States voter in general is very underinformed to uninformed. So politicians do things to keep the issues that need to be solved out of our mind and put other issues that we have emotional attachments to in front of us as if that issue is the need of the day. These things are called wedge issues. I appreciate that, Gordy. Yeah, we gotta each one teach one. I do this show to spread information, man. We as black people, we suffer from lack of knowledge. And as many black people who read the Bible, what did the Bible say? My people, something will perish because of lack of knowledge, some shit like that. I remember reading that verse when I was a kid in the Bible and thinking, shit, if the ones dying are the ones that got lack of knowledge, shit, let me get my knowledge game up, see what the fuck this is. The result was me reading that, getting my knowledge up and finding out that what goes on in church is a bunch of bullshit. But hey, I'm out of that because, hey, maybe I read too much, but hey, there's no such thing as reading too much. You got to understand the environment you're in, especially if you choose to participate in that environment. Now, for people who don't vote, don't care, this isn't for you. I'm fine with that too. There are people out there who don't give a fuck about politics. They don't care who wins, none of that. They live their life, they do what they do, they don't get involved. To me, that's fine too. I don't have an issue with that. I don't have an issue with people like that don't really care about politics. I really don't. They're not the problem. The problem is the people who act like they do care about politics, but don't spend a motherfucking time of their day learning what politics is. Those are the problem. We gotta get people out here to vote. We gotta register to vote. Okay, Vote for what? Well, there are things that are on the table, and we got to get and vote. Okay, and that's going to benefit me how? We just need to vote. Them is the problem. Because you end up voting for your own demise. One thing that politicians, one useful trick that I want you guys to be aware of that they use all the time on the news every day is wedge issues. You know what wedge issues are, folks? I know a lot of you, I have a fairly smart chat room, so I know a lot of you people do know what wedge issues are. But for those who don't, that's fine too. It doesn't mean you're not smart. It just means that this isn't something that's been put in front of your awareness. So my offering this broadcast is to put it in your awareness so you see what's going on in front of you. Wedge issues is what they use to keep us all chasing our tail. What did George Clinton say in Atomic Dog? For the dog that chases its tail will be dizzy. The reason why everybody's dizzy because everybody's chasing a fucking tail over these wedge issues. What is a wedge issue? A wedge issue is a political or social issue, often a controversial or decisive nature, which splits apart a demographic or population group. Wedge issues can be advertised or publicly aired in an attempt to strengthen the unity of a population with the goal of enticing polarized individuals to give support to an opponent or withdraw their support entirely out of disillusionment. The use of wedge issues give rise to wedge politics. Wedge issues are also known as hot button or third rail issues. Let's read this next paragraph and then we're going to break it down. Political campaigns use wedge issues to soften tensions within a targeted population. A wedge issue may often be a point or internal dissent within an opposing party, which that party attempts to suppress or ignore, discussing because it divides the base. Typically, wedge issues have a cultural or populist theme, relating to matters such as crime, national security, sexuality, abortion, and race. This is Wikipedia, so you gotta watch out. Race isn't a wedge issue. Race is a real issue. Now let's make that very clear. Race is not a wedge issue. Now sometimes it's used as a wedge issue. Race is the primary issue in the United States of America from its inception. But what race is sometimes used as a wedge issue when you have, here's how race is used as a wedge issue. Vote for me because I'm black. Hey, you don't want to be seen as not down with your people. What did Joe Biden say? If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. A party may introduce a wedge issue to an opposing population while aligning itself with the dissenting faction of the opposition. A wedge issue, when introduced, is intended to bring about such things as a debate, often vitriolic within opposing party, giving public perception of disarray. The defection of supporters to the opposing party's minority faction, and legitimizing of sentiments. Why am I bringing this up? I'm using Wikipedia, a general place that people like to go to, something easy to find, you know. But look at some of the issues they brought up. Crime is always a wedge issue. Why is crime a wedge issue? Because crime can only be solved through everybody having a job and everybody having an adequate income and a right to housing and stable economy, stable economics for every individual within the society. That's really the only way to stop crime. But we live in a capitalistic system. In capitalism, you need a large base of poor people to work for a small minority of wealthy on the top. So as long as you have that type of financial political system, you're going to have crime. Because the crime, as above, so below, the biggest criminals are on top, stealing from us every day. So the few people on top are stealing from us, you can guarantee people within the society will steal from each other. That's a promise. You could take that to the bank, motherfucker. As long as there are a few people on top stealing from the masses, there will be crime within the masses. And they know that. So they bring up crime as a wedge issue. Hey, look, things are unsafe. Look what's going on here in California right now. Ooh, home invasion robberies are at an all-time high. Home invasion robberies is. Home invasion robberies that. No, good in the hell well, if they wanted to stop these home invasion robberies, they could do that in a heartbeat. Took that out. I'm looking for this one more. I'm trying to show you something. Let me show you something. Oh, that ain't shit. Damn it. Let me show you something. I can't find it. I cannot find it. Damn it. Okay. Let me see here. Here we go. Look at this article from The Hill last year. It's talking about different wedge issues of the past. In the 70s, it was stagnating wages and jobs. Although those were used as real issues, they were used as wedge issues because Americans were losing jobs. But as you can see, by the time that the 80s and 90s came, that was just a talking point. No one was ever serious about fixing the issues. That's nothing about wedge issues. Wedge issues are issues that politicians have no intention on solving. None. They bring these issues up to rile your emotions. What's up, Fred from Barbershop Conversations? Subscribe to his channel, please. Barbershop Conversations in the chat room. That brother's channel's dope. I love how he breaks down the business of boxing and the business of sport. Because not enough black people care. As much as we send our kids to these sports, we don't ever think about the business of the sport. And the business of the sport is where the money's at. So subscribe to Barbershop Conversations. He is always breaking down the business of the sport. Always. And that's something that if you are going to chase sports, at least understand the business. And that brother can help you out with that daily on his channel. He's always talking about the chess moves going on behind the sport. Something that we as black people do not pay close enough attention to, yet always fall victim to. Just like in politics. We don't pay attention to how politics work, how politics work against us, and how they can work for us. So since we never focus on how politics can work for us, we're constant victims of politics because we over here electing people because they got a certain skin color. Or we like the way they play the fucking saxophone. Or a whole bunch of dumb trivial shit niggas go out and vote for. These are wedge issues. These are wedge issues. Same-sex marriage, wedge issue. Only a small percentage is same-sex married. I remember back when Obama passed all that shit back in 2012. It was like less than 2% of the population was even. Now it's more now because there's so much propaganda on this gay shit. You got more people coming out now. That closet door done busted open. Shit, that closet door is busted more wide open than Terry Cruz's booty hole looking for a new role. I didn't say that. My bad. But crime is a wedge issue because you can't solve crime unless you solve the economy and make the economy just for everyone. So as long as the economy is not going to be just for everyone, crime will exist. We see it with these home invasion robberies here in California. They know how to stop these robberies, but they're going to make a big issue of it. Why? Because we're talking about defund the police and getting rid of cash bail. And they're going to say, oh, no, we need that. Here, let's put a highlight on crime. Even though crime is still down from where it was 20 years ago, they make you think crime is on the rise. No, crime is actually down, especially since the 90s. Abortion has been a major wedge issue since Roe versus Wade. Abortion wasn't a major issue back in the 50s and the 40s and the 20s. Women, if they wanted an abortion, knew how to go get one. Abortion ain't new. If you knew a medicine woman down south, you knew someone who can give you some herbs to recycle your birth, your period, which basically was an abortion. If you were from the upper northeast and in New York and you wanted them people, it was always some doctors around. And if it wasn't the doctor around, there were hangers. Nothing ever stopped people from getting abortions. But after Roe versus Wade, that's become the political wedge issue over the last 50 years. Elections have been won and lost over abortions. Meanwhile, while you got people voting for abortions, Reaganomics of the 80s, Clinton deregulation of media in the 90s, Bush Patriot Act of the 2000s and more deregulation, Obama wealth transference to the top 1%, creating laws and giving subsidies to tech companies that have taken people like Jeff Bezos' wealth from $17 billion in 2011 to over $220 billion 10 years later. Every politician it seems like no matter what the wedge issue is, the rich get richer. You notice that? No matter what they make a wedge issue, abortion, crime, national security was Bush's wedge issue. Oh, Patriot Act. It's also Biden's issue. Now, but except for now, Biden's using this virus as a national security thing. Racism was Trump's wedge issue. Race was used as a wedge with Trump. They had somebody go out there and be so obnoxious. They basically redefined what racism is. They took it off the transference of wealth and resources to a personality thing and made that the issue. So Biden comes in 2020, hey, I'm not going to say I'm not racist, but I'm not as racist as that guy. And people fell for it, especially you dumb niggas. Yes, the jab is a wedge issue, brother Courtney G. You on top of it, yes. The jab is a wedge issue. We see with LeBron James. LeBron James took the jab. He still just got suspended. Well, not suspended, but he's off the roster because he got the woompty wham. You see, whether you got the jab or not, people are still getting the woompty wham. People are still dying. So the jab ain't what they said it was going to be this time last year. So what are they doing? They're saying, well, take it anyway. Yeah. It ain't stopping the virus, but take it anyway. The jab is going to be a major wedge issue as we go into 2022 elections. You're going to have Republicans running off, look, y'all tired of taking this jab? Well, vote for me. I'm not going to give you shit. When I get in office, all I'm going to do is turn my booty hole up to whatever corporate dick is willing to run into it. That's what these politicians do. But they're going to come to us as voters and say, hey, you tired of that jab? Well, vote for me. And then you're going to have other politicians. There are not enough jabs. We keep getting more and more viruses because we need more jabs. And they're about to be jab this, jab that, and as we go into next year's election cycle. Mark my words. The jab, listen to me now, record me. I want somebody to soundbite this motherfucker and make it a clip. So this time next year, y'all can say that nigga Dwan was right. Hey, we won't have to wait till next year. We wait till June when these elections start. We wait till like June, August when these elections start heating up. You're going to have crime as a wedge issue. The jab as a wedge issue. They're going to bring more stuff back on this trend. Trans and gay stuff was a major issue this past election. I'm sure they're going to bring that one back. And then because they see black people waking up, they're going to bring up vague terms like justice for all as a wedge issue. They're going to have black faces of showing pictures of black people getting fucked up. But this for all thing is basically going to help other people if it gets passed. Those are going to be the wedge issues. They're not going to change any of those issues when they get in office. But they're going to run on these wedge issues to incite your emotions to get you to run for them. To vote for them. Because there's two things we got to remember about politics. Two things. We got to remember that politics is a science. That's why when you go to school, they have political science. There's a science to everything that goes on. Both parties play t-ball with the next. They set up issues for the next regime to come in or the opposite party to tackle and take down. They help one another out to our, as a people, detriment. And political theater is the other term. It's theater. The political theater incites your emotions so they can play political science. The reason why the science on politics goes uninterrupted and unobstructed is because we as a population are caught up in the theater, not the science. Like every year, you have the Al Smith dinner where politicians battle it out and crack jokes over on one another. They even have writers from SNL and other stuff write jokes at these dinners. And you get crazy news clippings of the Al Smith dinner. Alfred Smith was the former governor of New York. They do a dinner every year in his honor where the politicians get together and roast each other. And the other one is the correspondence dinner. Those are the two major places where this theater has its day off. The correspondence dinner. And you know, the correspondence dinner is what people have called for a long time Washington, like the Washington prom. Because basically Washington amongst people who are into politics is known as Hollywood for the ugly. This is what senators and Congress people say about themselves. The correspondence dinner is the prom for ugly politicians. Politics is Hollywood for ugly people. Chris Christie could never make it as an actor because he's ugly as fuck. But he can be a politician. They're trying to bring in prettier politicians. You know, they're trying to show us AOC, who she looks like a cheese rat. But as far as politicians go, she's up there. They bringing in Kamala Harris, someone who on a normal scale, she's a 5, but on a political scale, she's a 9 as far as politicians go. In regular America, she's a 5. So they're trying to bring more beauty into it. You know why? Because they know people are so fucking stupid. They worship these people. Let's just bring in some actors. They first tried this with Kennedy. They always say what won Kennedy the 1960 election over Nixon was his looks. Before the 1960 election, the majority of things that happened in politics happened on the radio. All the debates were on radio before the 1960 election. In the 1960 election, that was the first one. I'm not sure if it's the first election, but I think it is. Don't quote me. But it's the first election where the debates were held on TV. And Kennedy was a lot cleaner looking than Nixon. And they say Kennedy's looks is what gave more white women voted for Kennedy than they did Nixon. And that's what tipped the balance over into for Kennedy. The look. Because the speeches, the debates, the correspondence, dinners, all this bullshit is just the theater that covers the science. Yeah, Sarah Palin back in 2008. All them white folks love them some Sarah Palin. Ooh, they loved her. Man, them white boys could not get enough of Sarah Palin back in 2008. That's why they had her run with John McCain, old deformed ass. John McCain couldn't even lift his hands over his shoulder. John McCain had them shoulders where he could only kind of lift his hands straight. Y'all remember John McCain? Y'all remember John McCain? He wasn't nothing. So they had to put Sarah Palin next to him. Because the white boys loved them some Sarah Palin. I remember John McCain, remember he couldn't lift his arm up? That was as far as he could lift his arm. He looked like he was rocking the crowd with the mic. You know how it is when you're rocking the crowd, you kind of have your hands, you... They knew that they were in for it against Barack Obama because Barack Obama had the look. And they knew this ghostly looking motherfucker didn't. So what they did was they said, okay, we know this ugly motherfucker's looks ain't enough for him to win over Obama because the people are stupid. They looking at looks. And the Republicans need something to look at. So let's bring in this joker right here, Sarah Palin. So they brought her in. And she was dumb as a bag of bricks. This was one stupid ass heifer. Didn't know Russia was a foreign country. Like, what was that she said about Russia? Didn't even realize Russia was right next to Alaska? This was one dumb bitch. But she had the look. And she had, her children were having babies out of wedlock. And this is back when the Republicans were the party of morality. Oh, they didn't care when it was her babies. She was a MILF for them white boys. Then the news came out later on that she fucked Glenn Rice when he was at the University of Michigan. Y'all remember Glenn Rice used to play in the NBA? Former Laker. That nigga Glenn Rice used to always have his teeth out. This nigga Glenn Rice used to always... I remember when he used to play too. Glenn Rice is one of my favorite all-time players. He used to always have his teeth out. He was one of the greatest shooters of all time. When news came out she smashed Glenn Rice, they stopped fucking with Sarah Palin. Look at that nigga's teeth. He always had his teeth out and lip over his teeth. That nigga, Glenn Rice always looked like he just finished eating ass. He always had that look on the screen right here. Look at his face. If I ever meet Glenn Rice, don't ever share this to him, because Glenn Rice is one of my favorite all-time players. I'm not talking shit, Glenn Rice, but I'm talking shit. He's always chew that gum. Like, nigga, did you just finish eating ass? Why is your lip over your teeth like that, brother? So when the white boys found out Sarah Palin smashed Glenn Rice when he was at the University of Michigan, all those speaking gigs dried up. You ain't heard her name since it came out that she fucked Glenn Rice. You ain't heard her name. Again, black people, we ain't the only ones that fall victim to it. Everyone falls victim to it. But if we're going to survive, if we're going to participate politically, we have to be the first to solve it. The same way we're always first to solve problems in this country, man. This ain't nothing new. This ain't nothing new. Black people having to solve the issues of the country, but this time we're going to solve them for our own self-interest. And again, it's not about hate towards any other group. No, it ain't about hate. It ain't about hate. When you get your emotions involved in this, you cannot think properly. As long as you're emotional about politics, as long as your emotions are tied into your vote, you'll never think correctly. You have to remove emotions from your politics. It's just business. That's all. Stop getting caught up in a look. Stop getting caught up in this person said this person looks the way I want them to look, or they made me feel a certain way. Stop that shit. It don't help. It don't help at all. You dig what I'm saying? What y'all talking about in the chat room? What y'all talking about in the chat room? Yeah, y'all on point. Yep. Hey, I forgot about Glenn Rice, huh? Yeah, they reversed roles with Biden and Kamala Harris. I knew Biden no ugly wart on the ass looking motherfucker. And I still don't believe Biden got all them votes they say he got. I just don't believe that. I don't believe it. But he's in there. But I do believe all these dumb Negroes that went and voted just because Kamala Harris looked good. Or ski-wee. All kind of dumb shit. Get off the dumb shit, people. You don't need to wait for somebody else to stop being stupid for you to stop being stupid. And we're all stupid in some way in certain areas of our lives. We are. We're all 5 years old in particular areas of our lives. But at some point, you got to stop being a 5-year-old. Because the thing with a 5-year-old is a 5-year-old knows he or she don't know anything. So a 5-year-old is always ready and willing to learn. Because a 5-year-old knows, hey, I don't know anything. I need to learn something. We need to be the same way. If you're going to participate in politics, now if you're not going to participate in politics, that's fine too. That is totally fine. If you want that kind of person that want to go home and talk shit, that's fine, because Most Americans don't vote anyway. It's the Americans that are voting that are fucking us over. Because they voting for the wrong shit. They're voting for emotional validation. If you want emotional validation, go to your girlfriend. Go eat some fucking ice cream. You don't get that from voting. You're right, Quanez, and ask a lot of questions too. Shit, hell yeah. But remember, I want to thank y'all for listening. Remember, Craig Facts today ain't gonna be on YouTube, Craig's YouTube channel. It'll be on his Facebook page, his Facebook fan page, and maybe his backup YouTube channel, because we got a show coming next week in Austin, Texas. Get your tickets. Somebody or YouTube or something is hating on that show, so they took the channel down for a week. The week leading up to our show, December 10th and 11th in Austin, Texas. Don't let that get in your way. Get your tickets anyway. You can see us live, Craig Facts Live, along with Stand Up, Big Job, Barry Brewer, and a whole bunch of all deaf motherfuckers. My nigga Teddy Ray, Larry gonna be there. And let me tell you one more thing why. Another solution before I get out of here. People, I want solutions. Right now, the solution for us as a people is to stay actively disengaged. What does actively disengaged mean? Meaning you're active, you're paying attention to what's going on. And when you're active and paying attention, and when the calls put out there, what do you need? You keep voicing what you want. But if the politicians in your district that you're in control of voting for, if they're not engaging you with substance and the things that you want politically, then disengage from the voting process. You don't vote if you're not getting anything in return for that vote. If you're not getting anything for your vote, you don't vote. I know when I vote, I leave plenty of bubbles open. When I voted this last election, I voted for Stephen Bradford because Stephen Bradford had qualified immunity on the table in the state of California to be taken off and strip the police of their qualified immunity. So I voted for him. I didn't vote for governor because there was no one in the governor's seat or running for the governor's seat that was speaking to my political needs and issues. Because one thing a system needs is participation. I don't understand vote down ballots. Cherry pie. I've heard the term vote down ballot, but that's too vague. What vote for what down ballot? If you're just going to skip the voting for Democrat as president, but vote for Democrats in every other key position, then what did that do? It has to be clear. See, when a system needs your participation. Political jujitsu is what Neely Fuller calls it. Yeah, we on the bottom, but guess what the bottom is? The bottom is where all the leverage is. That's one thing we don't seem to keep realizing as black people. Yes, we're on the bottom, yes. But the bottom, the top can't stay on top if the bottom don't cooperate. If the bottom shifts and says, no, I feel like coming over here. Guess what the top has to do? Follow or fall. That's the only thing the top can do. when the bottom decides to shift. Either the top is going to move with the bottom, wherever the bottom says to go to, or if they don't, it'll fall and crumble. And now everyone's on the bottom. See, this system falling and crumbling isn't something that black people need to be afraid of. Because we've already been here. We'll create something new like we always have. What you worry for? What you worry for? We have the leverage as the people. It's okay with taking a few elections off. What if we said in 2000, after Obama got elected in 2008, we got our first black president, yada, yada, yada. If we chose to actively disengage from politics in 2012, 2014, 16, 18, 20, you don't think by now they'd be speaking directly to us and who we are and giving us directly what we want in order to get in office? But no, we don't get that because in spite of it, too many people listen to Roland Martin and Mark Lamont Hill and go and vote anyway. As long as you're voting anyway, they're never going to listen to what you have to say. Okay, everybody say your person don't vote that ballot, be voting locally, yet leaving the tip of the ballot ticket empty. Well, again, it depends on what you're voting for. I don't say vote for everything. You vote for the people who speak directly to your political needs. You don't vote down ballot if down ballot they talking about, hey, we got this. Well, the Native Americans are going to get that, and there's going to be a corporate tax break over here, and the Asians are going to get this. If they ain't talking to your black ass, what good is to it? It's, now if they talking to your black ass, then yeah, definitely vote down ballot. If the down ballot candidates are talking specifically to your political needs, then hell yeah, vote for them. But if they ain't, then no. Hell, I'm sure I can already see it right now when this 2022 election come. I probably ain't gonna vote for nobody. I'm just gonna vote for these propositions in California. There probably ain't gonna be a single person on the ballot that gets my vote. It might just be the propositions. It depends on what they saying. And then if it ain't no propositions out there that serve my political interests, I ain't gonna vote at all. See, the third rail in voting is abstaining. They don't teach you that. Well, they do teach you this in political science class, which is why I recommend political science. Which is why I recommend taking the political science class. But the third rail is to abstain. Your Congress people and senators do it all the time. If there is something on the table, but that thing on the table does not serve your group's political interests, you abstain. Abstention is a term in election procedure for when a participant in a vote either does not go to vote on election day or in preliminary procedures, is present during the vote but does not cast a ballot. It means you're there, but you abstain when there's nothing that serves your political interests. If it doesn't serve your political interests, you just don't vote on it. And what that does is it gives you leverage on future votes that do serve your interests. Now, in the future, Because a lot of times when politicians vote, it's because their caucus voted the whip that they're under. Jim Clyburn is a whip. When they use the terms like whip, this when you can get someone in Congress that has influence to get a block of votes from a block of Congress people. Well, when you get known for abstaining from votes, now when other Congress people need things passed in their favor, you can now do quid pro quo, something for something. Okay, next vote. Even though this next vote doesn't serve me, I'll vote for it for you. So when it's my turn to get something that I'm going to vote for in my district, I can get a vote from you. The only politicians who have this type of leverage are the ones who are not afraid to abstain. No different with voter bases. When the politicians know you're abstaining, that then makes them go back to the drawing board and come back to you with another offer, like buying a car. You go buy a car. If the deal ain't what you want it to be, do you still buy the car, or do you abstain and allow the salesperson to come back with a better offer? Which move do you make? If you're smart and you're self-interested, you abstain until the deal is right for you, correct? No different in politics. You don't have to vote. This is it's not baseball. It's like baseball, but you get unlimited strikes. Just because someone throws a pitch don't mean you have to swing. Hell, you can have 20 elections without swinging. You ain't gotta swing. You don't owe these politicians shit. Politicians are our bitches. They work for us. You don't owe them anything. They owe you. You don't have to vote. You don't have to vote. As a matter, because at the end of the day, our survival as a group and your survival as an individual is not and should not be left up to a vote. You make and you create your happiness. You create your political advantage. You create these things yourself. You don't even need to participate in politics. We create our own health, wealth, and happiness. The only time you should disturb your peace and leave your family or take time out from playing video games or whatever the fuck you want to do is if that activity serves your interests. Cherry Pie says, enough about my only issue with not voting, making a silent statement that you leave the door open for other communities to take credit. Who cares who gets credit? What's credit? Can you pass credit down to your children? Can you put credit for an election in your bank account? Is credit for an election going to lead towards jobs? Who gives a shit? And other communities take advantage of credit anyway. Chang last year, when black people got Biden put in office, Chang said it was Asian voters in Georgia that got him that position. And guess what happened? Biden gave special protections to Asians. Black people are already voting, and other people are getting the spoils from our vote. It's already happening. LGBTQ, they win every time black people go out and vote. Politically. I'm not trying to worry about that. This is business. Damn how things look. This is about getting tangibles. Damn a perception. Damn a feeling. Credit does nothing to to pay your mortgage. It does nothing for you to even be able to get into position to have a mortgage. Damn credit. We about tangible money in our pockets. Like everybody else. And if it ain't putting tangibles in our pocket, then spend your time cultivating your business, being around your family, and making your life a better life for yourself. If it ain't putting money in your pocket, if it ain't giving you the things that you need to own, control, and pass down, then don't waste your time doing it. That simple. I'm about to get up out of here. And remember this, there are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those who are willing to pick up the game. Thank y'all for listening. My name is Dwan B. We out.